Okay, the parade is over. In a few minutes, we'll be bringing you the broadcast from the ceremony on the mall. So stay tuned here right on this stream, but the stream will go dark for a few minutes.
Were paid for with the lives of our veterans. That is why they are remembered on a special day, Memorial Day. By County Commander Ray Piccolo.
May the Lord our God bless us all present here to memorialize those who died for liberty and freedom in our nation and in the world. And may the Lord our God remember all those who sacrificed for this nation with greatness, progress, and wisdom. Amen.
Please join together for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, under the direction of Hornell High School choir leader, Mr. Logan, we have the singing of the national anthem. Thank you very much. This morning, we are happy to have the valedictorian and co-salutatorians of the Hornell High School with us. For the first valedictorian, Nora Foreman will read Flanders Field.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks so bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The touch be yours to hold it high, we shall not sleep through poppies grow in Flanders Field.
Thank you, Nora. Just a little bit of information. That home in Flanders Field gave birth to the poppy as the universal symbol of veterans and the remembrance of those who made the supreme sacrifice in World War I. So thank you very much. At the end of the Civil War in 1866, the Grand Army of the Republic was formed as a veterans organization and commanded by General John A. Logan. In 1868, General Logan issued General Order Number 11, calling for all departments and posts to set aside the 30th day of May for remembering the sacrifices of fallen comrades, thereby beginning the observance of Memorial Day. Today, as co-salutatorian, we have Candace Downitz here to read Logan's order.
The 30th of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in the defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed, but hosts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind of fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and marines who united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our historic dead, who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foe? Their soldier lives were the revival of freedom to a race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance, and all that concentrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed ground. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and crowned mourners. Let no vandalism of variance or neglect, no ravages of time, testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as people the cost of a free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull and other hands slack, and other hearts hold in solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remain. Let us, then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them the choicest flowers of springtime. Let us rise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us in the solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as sacred charges upon this nation's gratitude. The soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope it will keep us from year to year while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of its departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in a time for simultaneous compliance therewith. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you, Candace. Today, to read the Gettysburg Address, we have the other co-salutatorian, Vivian Smith.
Fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We are met to dedicate a portion of it as the final resting place to those who have given their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our ability to add or decline. The world will very early know long enough what we say, but it can never forget what we did. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here, unfinished work that we thus far so nobly carry on. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause, for they
you very much to these three students. They're our honored guests today, and we certainly appreciate them being here. Next, we'll have Mayor John Buckley.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here with you today as we gather in remembrance of the brave men and women who have given their lives in service to our country. On this Memorial Day, we pause to pay tribute to their courage, gallantry, and unwavering dedication. May we never forget their sacrifice, and may we always strive to be worthy of the legacy they have left behind. From the Revolutionary War to the conflicts of today, our fallen heroes have stood on the front lines, embodying the highest ideals of duty, honor, and patriotism. On this day, in this moment, we pause to honor these courageous men and women who have answered the call of duty, knowing full well the risks they faced. They left behind the comforts of home, the embrace of loved ones, and marched into the unknown with unwavering resolve and selfless determination. But as we gather here today, let us only mourn their loss. Let us not only mourn their loss, but also celebrate their lives and legacy they have left behind. May we come together as a community to pay and tribute to the brave souls who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. Let us stand united in remembrance, recognition, and gratitude for those who have laid down their lives so that we may live in freedom. Their sacrifice reminds us that freedom is never free. It comes at a great cost, paid with the courage, dedication, bravery, and commitment of those who have gone before us. Today, we solemnly promise to always remember their sacrifice and to honor their memory by cherishing the liberties they fought to preserve and protect. On this Memorial Day, as we gather with loved ones and enjoy the blessings of freedom, let us take a moment to reflect the true meaning of this day. Let us honor the fallen by living our lives with purpose, gratitude, and a commitment to upholding the values for which they gave everything. Their sacrifice has secured for us the blessings of freedom and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. That should never be taken for granted. May we never forget the price of freedom, and may we always honor the courage and sacrifice of our fallen heroes. Thank you, and God bless.
Now the fire chief from the city of Hornell, Frank Brzezowski.
Morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. The rain kind of scared everybody away today. We're here today to remember our veterans, many Americans. Last Monday in May marks the unofficial start of summer. Long weekend, family barbecues, gathering friends. For those who still serve in the military, Memorial Day holds a greater sacrifice. It commemorates the brave men and women who have lost their lives by defending our great nation. At the core of our military lie the unique themes of selflessness, desire to serve, and the willingness to sacrifice and to defend the nation. The origin of Memorial Day, first observed over 155 years ago, then known as Decoration Day, was to beautify the graves and memorial of those who fought and died to preserve our nation during the Civil War. The holiday name observed changed over the years, but its ideals and intentions have not. It's a day all Americans should take a moment to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Memorial Day is the day of both grief and celebration, reflecting on tragic loss and recounting courages in their services, one that can never be repaid. How many troops does the United States have abroad in terms of overseas deployment? There are well over 390,000 U.S. military personnel stationed in foreign countries as of this year, stationed to help where it's needed abroad and never take for granted for protecting the others as well as ourselves in the rights to love this country. Duty, honor, country, they lived for it and they died for it. As a nation, we must remind ourselves of the future that they fought and to do our best to live up to those values every day ahead. Thank you for honoring our veterans today. Let us walk toward tomorrow still honoring them by living in the freedom they protected for us.
The police chief from the city of Hornell, Chief Ted Murray.
Thank you. I'm honored to speak to you today. My son Robert, who's in active duty, stationed out of Colorado, he called me last night, was telling me that he had been honored by being selected to represent his branch of service at Memorial Day event in Washington, D.C. in Arlington National Cemetery. He was excited about being part of this formal event. But I reminded him, however, that Hornell also does a great event for Memorial Day. I truly am honored to again speak at this very important Memorial Day service. Memorial Day is a day to honor all who have come before us, all who have made our world a better place, and especially to honor our heroes who have given the ultimate to make our country the place that it is today. Following traditions, we have parades, ceremonies, speeches, we visit grave sites, plant flowers and memorials, and we pray for the souls of the departed. If you have been to our local cemeteries, you may have noticed some grave sites with the blue and white flag bearing the Maple City Police. These flags are very significant as they mark the sites of all members of the Hornell Police Department who have passed before us. I'd like to thank the president of our police club, Officer Brett Flights, and his family, and others for taking their time and efforts in planning each and every one of these flags. As we view our cemeteries, it is inspiring to see the work of our local veteran organizations as they visit graves of all past veterans marked with an American flag. I thank them not just for this, but the support they provide to veterans in our community and families. We must also remember that the true reason Memorial Day was conceived, and that is to honor and remember those who have gave their lives in defense of our country. These men and women did so out of love and conviction to our country. To honor these heroes who gave us through their ultimate sacrifice the land and freedoms we enjoy today should and must be in the forefront of what Memorial Day is. I was viewing all the names on the Memorial Day, on a monument rather, it's in this mall, of the local individuals that were killed in World War II. Over 70 names appeared. So many of these names are direct relations to many Hornell residents today. People that we pass every day. Take time to pray for these souls and honor them through this year by acts that make our community and country that beacon on the hill. On behalf of the men and women of the Hornell Police Department, I thank each and every one of you for attending this morning. May God bless you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Chief. And now the Hornell High School Choir, under the direction of Mr. Llewellyn, will offer patriotic songs.
Beside her.
And next we have Gold Star Mother, Kim Smith.
Good morning. First of all, let me introduce myself. There's many familiar faces out there, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kim Smith. I'm from Hornell and I've lived here most of my life. I love the Hornell area, the surrounding communities. I love raising my family in this area. As I tell you more about my life, the reasons for living in our area, is we are enveloped with so much love and so much kindness when we are in times of need and in these beautiful little towns. I have 3 children. Nate, 37, Zach would be 34, and Grace is 25. Nate lives in Hamburg and married to Anna and has 3 little boys, Alex, Ari, and Asher. They are 10, 5, and 1. Zach married his high school sweetheart, Ann Deeps. And Grace is a registered nurse at St. James Hospital. Before I go any further, I'd like to recognize some great people that are very near and dear to my heart. I don't know all of their names. I don't know where they all live. I'm talking about every single veteran and active duty member of our military, and that have served. So if you are part of our military, no matter the branch, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, please raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. We owe so much to our veterans. They keep our country safe and care enough to sign their name on blank check, to give up their freedom, to train in so many different places, and leave our soil to go help others in foreign countries to protect the innocent, and some do not make it back home to their families. When I'm asked to speak, I often ask, what topic would you like me to talk about? And the answer is whatever you'd like to share. I was asked a few months ago to speak at the Art Court Memorial Day ceremony, and my topic was that of Gold Star Mother. So at the annual ceremony, I've talked about this topic before here, but I want to talk about it again, as I have many inquiries in my travels, as my license plate is GSM, Gold Star Mother 2490, which is Zach's birthday in military. Sadly but true, I did not know what a Gold Star Mom was until I became one of them. Like a lot of things in life, we learn as we go through life, and that is what makes us who we are today. We learn from our experiences, the good, the bad, and honestly, the ugly as well. So now I'll tell you the story and how I learned what a Gold Star Mother is. If you've lived in this area in 2010, many will remember my son's story. I mentioned that my middle child, Zach, would be 34. Zach wanted to be a U.S. Marine at a very early age, very influenced when he was 11, when our country was attacked on September 11th. His dad was a New York State trooper, had to leave that day to go to New York City to help in whatever capacity was needed. He went many times in the next 6 months, and every time he left, it was hard on our family. And there were many discussions while he was away with my children to keep them positive, not worrying about their dad, and trying to go on with their events and try to live our normal lives. But our world has changed so much from this terrorism. Zach graduated 7 years later in 2008, and 12 days after graduation, he left for U.S. Marine boot camp. I knew he was in great shape. He was getting mentally prepared as he had been involved in the home of an active duty. Like I said, he did extensive training. He came home as much as he could to see us all. And his beautiful girlfriend. In 2009, he married the love of his life, Annie Deeps. He did come home or meet his wife halfway through the months of August or November. He spent as much time with Anne and us as he could. In December, he was deployed to Afghanistan. Even though we knew this day was coming, we were not prepared. Honestly, I don't think you can prepare. There are so many fears that we all have. He called Anne when he could. We sent packages so we could send his favorite things from the United States. We just had how to get through the next 7 months of deployment, as we thought. On a very cold January, snowy day, 14 and a half years ago, we had the dreaded knock on the door from the United States Marines. We had lost our Zach. He was not going to come back home in July. Annie is now an 18-year-old widow. Nate and Grace have lost their brother. His dad and I have lost our son. Our family has lost a grandson, a nephew. The hurt goes on and on with many relatives, friends, and co-workers, Marine brothers, that will now endure this loss. This is when my title changed to Gold Star Mother. I no longer could display my blue service flag showing that we had a family member serving and fighting for our freedom. I now had to replace the blue flag with the gold flag and figure out my life, my way forward, how to get my children, his father, family, friends, Marine brothers through this very difficult time, which when I say time, I really mean life. At this time, there was another Gold Star mother in Hornell, Phyllis Hatter. She lost her son, Larry, in Vietnam in 1971. I did not know her at the time, but I went and met her asking her, how have you done this life? How do you live without your son? What keeps you going? How am I going to do this? She turned out to be such a great friend and someone that I deeply admired. A few years ago she passed, but I am so thankful that the family let me visit her on her last days. I cannot tell you the wealth of experiences that she had shared with me during our many visits, starting in 2010. Her honest words from the first time I met her was, "What other choice do you have?" I really thought about that when leaving her house, so I chose to live my life to the fullest, to help whoever I could, and to educate people from the experiences that I now live and have been exposed to. I never saw me as a public speaker, I still don't, but I try, and I pull my strength from my son. I feel that it is my responsibility to share what I have learned so that those that have served our country are recognized and memorialized for their selflessness. So I proudly, but brokenheartedly, display the Gold Star flag at my house on my front door. Sometimes fly a bigger Gold Star flag on my flagpole. I wear a Gold Star pin at times. And as I have said, I also have a Gold Star Mother license plate. My license plate does bring up conversation, not just in Hornell, everywhere. I've been honked too, going down the highway and with thumbs up, and I have no idea, like, was I speeding, what was I doing? And they're yelling out there, "Thank you." So some people do know. But I have also been asked, where do you get one of those? My wife is a great mother. I wish that was the case, but sadly it's not what it means. I tell people for many reasons, and the big one is I can tell Zach's story and I can educate civilians, as I have learned so many things since losing him. Our military is amazing and a whole different way of life. Again, thank you to all the veterans that protect us. I would like to recognize some of the fallen in our area that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Please keep these families in your thoughts and prayers, as this is something that never goes away. Families, friends of the fallen learn to live with the memories that were made while they were here on earth. And like I said, this is just a few. Fred Kemp from Arcourt, Larry Hatter, Joe Grillo, Zach from Hornell, Jason Dunham from Scio, Devin Snyder from Wayland Cohocton, Ryan Jane from Cansteel, Mike Plank from Cameron. And there's one other topic I'd like to talk about as I have your attention. The military statistics of suicide are alarming. Does anyone know the number of veterans a day that we lose to suicide?
22.
Yeah, 22. I have a dear friend, Mary, in Hornell, that lost her son, Ben Lewis, after he was out of the military. Ben went to school with my Nate. Our men and women come back from deployment with a lot of heaviness that we civilians do not understand. What they saw, what they had to do in the line of duty, etc. They also have to adjust back to civilian life. When their military life was so structured, this can be very hard for them. I am bringing this up to inform all that we need to support our veterans in any way that you can. In my opinion, there are many organizations to help, but we don't have enough to support all the affected men and women with how long this last conflict, war has been going on. I did some research on the Gold Star, and there's a White Star banner that signifies suicide. While searching, I cannot find anywhere if the White Star only applies while they are still active duty, but in my mind and in my heart it does apply. It does apply. Because the war has changed these fine people, and it certainly has changed the lives of the loved ones that they have left behind. I pray every day that Mary finds peace in her heart, as she will always have questions that will never have answers. In closing, I thank you for your attention and for listening to me, and I hope you have learned some things that I've talked about. One thing I do know, life is hard, and we all need to work together to live the best lives we can in our beautiful country that is protected by our military. In my opening statement about our small community, I can honestly say I would not be standing here today if I didn't feel the love and have the wonderful support that my family has received with this loss from Hornell. So thank you for allowing me to tell Zach's story, my story, and for the continued support. For those that have heard me talk about my signs from Zach, because I see a few faces out there, and I'm asked frequently, so Zach sends me many signs, and off of his grave, I am up to 315 four-leaf clovers off his grave. So for everyone that has lost someone special in their lives, my last message to you: keep your heart open. You will be amazed at how much our loved ones that have gone before us can communicate with us. You can find so much peace if you just believe and realize that they are never really gone, especially when we keep them alive with all of their memories that they have left us. Have a great Memorial Day with your family, and remember, freedom is not free. God bless you.
Thank you, Kim. Our incoming commander, Steve Coates, has graciously agreed not to forego his speech in anticipation of the raindrops so that we can get the posting of the dead and the laying of the wreaths in. So, each year the American Legion contacts all the area funeral homes for the names of those veterans who have passed away during the last year. And I'll call on American Legion Post Commander John Turner to post the dead.
I've been given the honor to recite the names of the fallen veterans of the past year. Robert Ackard, Warren Wally Amphlett, David Andrezzi, Larry Bacon Sr., Lane Baggett, Paul Briggs, Gerald Roden, Roland Buzz Brown, Donald Cameron, James A. Capeluzzi, Nelson Chamberlain, Alan Corcoran, Marty Christensen, Carly F. Coogan, Harlan Cook, James P. Cressy, Paul W. Crow, Douglas Cruikshank, Harold Gudney Jr., Charles Chuck Curran, Larry Darby, Stephen Drone, Ronald Vincent Faulkner, Earl Flint, John Gore, Richard Greco, James W. Griffin, James E. Hawes, Joseph Haynes, James B. Holland, Jack Bing Howell, David B. Jacobs, Eugene Jones, Robert Kenyon, Joseph M. Kuhn, Danny L. Lacey, Floyd Loper, Barbara Manhart, Kenneth McLaughlin, Matthew Shine Myers, Donald Moore, Samuel J. Nasca, William J. Pauley, William Robb, Ezekiel, as known as Zeke Rodriguez, Robert Roselle, Philip G. Schaefer, Robert Stillman, Carly Stone, John Strickland, Lynn Slamaya, John F. Thompson, Sr., James E. Tobin, Wesley Todd, Chauncey J. Watches, Dean Wesley, Michael White, Jack Williams, Brandon Young.
Thank you, Commander. New York was the first state in the nation to legalize May 30th as a holiday. It's called Decoration Day. Today it's observed as Memorial Day, a day to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers with wreaths and flowers. Continuing the tradition that began in May of 1868, we will now have the placing of memorial wreaths and flowers at our veterans' monuments. We'll begin with the Hornell American Legion Post 440 Commander, John Turner. American Legion Auxiliary Post 440 Junior Wreath will be laid by Evelyn Pelton and Maggie Pelton. The American Legion Post 440 Auxiliary Senior Wreath to be laid by McKenna Donnelly. From American Legion Post 440, Sons of the American Legion, Commander Steve Coates. We're going to move along here. So, American Legion Post 440 Riders, Mike Porter. AMVETS Post 245 Commander John Foster. AMVETS Post 245 Ladies Auxiliary President Joyce Turner. AMVETS Post 245 Sons, Commander Keith Wetzel. AMVETS Post 245 Riders, Treasurer Ray Herbert. Gold Star Mother Kim Smith. VFW Post 2250, Denny Hall. VFW Post 2250 Auxiliary, President Ava Raycraft. VFW Post 2250 War Dads, Cheryl Stewart. From the city of Hornell, Kelsey Brzezowski and Matt McHale. And from the Hornell Fire Department, we have Kelsey Brzezowski and Matt McHale. Boy Scout Troop 1009, and Cub Scout Pack 7 Graham Program. From the Hornell Association, Steve Foster. From the Hornell Elks Lodge 364, Sharon Draper. From the Hornell Moose Lodge, Josh Lockwood. From the Hornell Knights of Columbus, Pat McHale. From the Ancient Order of Hibernians, Bob Hawley. From the Hornell Masonic Lodge, Charles Knighton. From the Carducci Lodge 226, Pat Gallo. Patty Hopkins on behalf of the Hopkins family. And now we'll have taps played by the Hornell High School Band. Thank you. That was Lucy Logan from the high school. And now call on Hornell American Legion Commander John Turner.
As this concludes our ceremony, everyone is welcome for sandwiches and refreshments up to American Legion Post 440 on Seneca Street. One last thing.
All right, I know it's getting bad, but sometimes when we're up here speaking, there's a few things that don't come out right. First of all, it's not Phyllis Hatter, it's Sarah Hatter. Second, Andy Kuso, Annie Hopkins, Raymond, also included in our Hornell for Gold Star families. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying, listening, and please respect every single one of our veterans.
Thank you for being here today. We'll conclude our ceremony with a benediction by Commander Wreath.
Almighty Father, we ask that you watch over the veterans of our country, comfort those who are suffering physical, emotional, and mental illness, relieve their suffering and bring them back to full health so they can continue to serve you. And then, Lord, we thank you for your many blessings. You have been most generous. We ask that you heal our country. Bless us with health and healing. In your name we pray, amen.
Again, thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Memorial Day.